God, this is it. Certainly a match that was promised between well, the Washington Justice and the Houston Outlaws. All comes down to this, the final map, map 5, to decide who goes to Hawaii, who moves forward to the playoffs, and who goes home. Whose 2021 season is going to be at an end. You can certainly see why the Shock, with their pick, did not want to go up against the Washington Justice. This is a squad that is, I mean, they just have grit and determination, even in the face of, you know, essentially defeat and knockouts and the bad manners in the chat. They persevere straight through it.
Yeah, they have. The composure that Washington have showed is remarkable. But I think the same could be said for the Outlaws too. That's going to be tested immensely here as we go towards map 5. I want to remind people as well, Outlaws are on a 5-match losing streak when it comes to playoff games, elimination games. And now as we head towards the final map of this series, their mentality is going to be tested more than ever. So far in this series, everyone has won their map pick. And the Outlaws get the pleasure of picking the final map as they are the higher seed. And that means we're headed to Busan, like I expected we would be, because this control map more heavily favors the ball comps over the Winston than any of the others. In terms of some map 5 statistics to throw at you here, Bren, Houston Outlaws have gone to map... So Houston Outlaws used to be horrific at map 5s. We're talking 2018, 2019. That era is behind them now. The Houston Outlaws have been to map 5 only twice so far this season, and they won both of them. The Justice, on the other hand, have gone to map 5 times this season, a very frequent occurrence, and they are 2 and 3. So a mixed bag when it comes to the Justice. As yet a clean sheet for the Houston Outlaws. This would be the most crucial time for them to continue that legacy this year and break the playoff curse.
Here on Busan, Mecha Base is the first kind of setting, I guess, as well between these two teams. Very close quarters. A lot of opportunities for the Washington Justice to get value out of this composition that they love to play.
Or even the Rhine, if they wanted to.
Sure. Yeah, it seems like RNG is smiling down upon them here today as we're opening up here. The Houston Outlaws not wasting any time. Exactly, you do have to win 2 anyway. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
I think the Outlaws are going to understand how to play here. They need to be rotating their backline away from the Justice, force them to use those engage abilities and waste it by rotating quicker than they can. The Lucio is, of course, a big threat, but you can see them coming, and so you know when to rotate and how far you need to be away.
Insane reaction times there from Piggy. He disrupted the neutral hack, but it brought a bit of space, actually. With Dreamer hacked up now as well. Assassin has to just get out of there, but Dreamer really couldn't do anything about it. The Justice, they get the opening pick-off that they needed right now, and the Outlaws struggling to find answers. It's Dreamer who's the one who's supposed to be disrupting this composition with the power drives. Need to see something massive from Happy and Dante, potentially. They're going to be trying to engage. That's Crimzo taken out. The dive is there. Now we're looking for one target after another. Happy does get 2. Still alive. Quite low, though. Doesn't have the recall. Has to back off. 7 health to his name. Not much to work with.
A single play as well that went wrong for Houston in that opening fight. Piggy and Happy both dropped the objective to try and contest it before Justice flipped this over. It went wrong for them, and now Justice have been given a free 30%. That stick
from
brings
Happy.
Mag very low down.
Yes, and he ends up going down to the whip shot there as well. Fury D-Mag, the stick into the back. Oh my goodness. Quite sure what happened there. The translocator, I think,
the translocator, yep.
Yeah, just to dislodge it. You can escape it. It does work that way, and it does result in the Houston Outlaws at least getting that capture. Wrangle control back. Now they can start to accrue up a bit of percentage of their own, and they've got the support ults as well.
Piggy is so crucial to deny these manual hacks. I really feel like that has to be a focus that the Outlaws coaching staff talked about heading into map 5. They're getting way too much value out of Assassin manually hacking players on the Outlaws. They need Piggy with his constant, unlimited ammunition to be spamming those areas and to be getting onto Assassin when he tries to go for them.
I require assistance.
Coalescence online. The Justice with this composition, they've got to pick and choose their timings very carefully in terms of how they want to use the cooldowns to engage. They're going to try and get in for free, get a bunch of space. You can see them not really using too much. But now the initiation comes in, the leap, the boosters, everything being used. Now the Coalescence on top of it, and Crimzo is just evaporated, taken out of the map. EMP from Assassin only catches onto Jake, who was on the high ground there, but it has
And
the rally
Dreamer.
armor to stay alive. Dreamer will be taken out there from that self-destruct. Okay, the sound barrier from the Justice will give them a bit of health now to work with as well, with Mag with the Primal Rage. Really just pushing them right into a tight corner, either that or off the map, and Jake is taken away. 62% still, the Outlaws have players to commit, and now they're committing a Transcendence. Everything pushed into this fight right now.
Bebe is so weak though, and he doesn't go down. Perhaps just getting the benefit of the most recent patch, where his grapple, his suck, gives him back a little more healing as he manages to stay alive with Closer.
I can't
they
believe
take
they're still
down
in this.
Dreamer, but the Outlaws are keeping this cap going. 80% and counting.
Yeah, this is absurd. Decay has to go back to his team to be healed up. Now we're really getting into it. I can't believe the Houston Outlaws have managed to hold on to this one, but the investment of ultimates, it comes up big still. The Justice, close to this coalescence. This is what they're going to look towards to turn the team fight around. He did end up spotting Assassin, just pushes him away. Now the Pulse Bomb in hand, ready and waiting actually. Pushes it around, that's Fury getting demech to coalescence. Comes through, doesn't get too much now to EMP, that's on 4. The Pulse Bomb stick Fury around the corner. It takes out Happy, but I think the damage is done. Rolling right through them, the Houston Outlaws. They just need a couple of more picks to try and close this one out, but Dreamer, he's off the map. Now Closer sends out the sound barrier and everybody is healthy. The Washington Justice, they don't want to give this one up, but Crimzo's still alive. Still putting in the damage of the Discord Orbs, and he's built up another Transcendence. The team is happy and healthy. With the overtime burning, it's looking inevitable, and Assassin's not able to get there in time with the EMP.
This match just continues to ping-pong back and forth. The opening skirmish so heavily in favor of the Washington Justice, and then after the Outlaws won a single team fight, Washington could just never take the objective back. The mobility of Happy, of Dante, of Dreamer, to be able to rotate around, Picky as well, just constantly kept that objective flowing, and Crimzo was happy to invest his ultimates into the fight in order to keep them going. Truly awesome Overwatch that we're watching from these two teams here. I love it. I hate that we're going to have to send one of them home, but that is the way that these elimination matches work. But boy, they're making each other work for it too.
Oh my goodness, yep. One round potentially for the Outlaws to end up going to Hawaii. That volley on Bebe, did you see how low he got there? I think that was Crimzo again sending in the damage from afar.
Could have been game over.
They're looking for something. Dante putting in a decent amount of spam there with the SMG. Right to the back, but that's Crimzo taken out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With no fade, it doesn't even matter. The Washington Justice are hunting down the targets. It's meticulous, one after the other.
Yeah, we were watching through the eyes of the Houston Outlaws there, and you could see how much focus they were putting on damage onto Bebe. Not just that right click, but then pressure from Dante, pressure from Happy and Dreamer, trying to force out the fade and then kill the Moira. It seemed to be the game plan for the Outlaws. But because it took them so long, and because the Moira is so survivable, they still had time to counter dive, get onto the back line, and take out Crimzo. Great play from Decay there. Mag is hacked, but doesn't look like there's going to be a follow-up. Instead, it's Crimzo on Decay.
Decay ends up going down. Crimzo's still putting in the damage, but look at this, the Justice, they've led right up to the choke point. They don't really have the cooldowns to take the fight continued, but they are still going to be building up the percentage on this point. They didn't let it flip over. You remember back into that first control map, it was the Outlaws who were playing the point so heavily, they flipped it out multiple times in that map number 1. This time the Justice are more aware of it.
And especially on this particular stage, the control point does tend to be where you're trying to take the majority of the fights. If the Outlaws can bait them into diving really far away, potentially they can turn things around. I think what I'd like to see here is a defensive EMP coming out from Dante. Whoa! They are way too fast for that, though.
That is so deep, but they caught the tanks there. The EMP, the booster's almost pushing them off the map. It's going to be the kills going their way. Still, the Houston Outlaws, they want to capitalize. They immediately dive onto the back line when that initial dive comes through from the Justice, but they're not going to be getting anything out of it. Still the Justice in control.
By Justice, though. That's another thing. We've been criticizing them all season, Bren, and I know you said it earlier, for their lack of proactivity. They're being more proactive than ever. Look how fast they're being in this fight. Again, another speed boost, and Mag is just up in their face with a Primal, not giving the Outlaws any space.
Coalescence, Bebe has to just back away from this one. A lot of ultimates for the Outlaws to turn this. They have the EMP. Dante up on the high ground, gets the hack. There's the mines. Do they want to commit this? Crimzo's fallen. Down and out again. The post bomb down. That is dropped onto the floor, and Fury will be demeched in the end. It's an overtime scenario. The Washington Justice, they don't have too many ultimates left to use, and the Outlaws, well, they're just going to slowly whittle them away and take this point back.
A great dive there from Happy and Dreamer. Good coordination. And it looked like it was going to be a bit of a fumble. I was right there with you, Bren. As Dante tried to go for a manual hack on the high ground and then Dreamer used mines and pile drive, it felt like the timing was very much off on what they were expecting the Justice to do. But they managed to claw it back under their control, partly because Decay went down early on and traded his life. And now Assassin once more has found the translocator of Dante. He's been an absolute menace here. But Dante's not... Oh, he is under pressure. Fury found him.
Oh my goodness. That is so intelligent. I mean, it's being commed the entire time by Assassin. They kill the translocator, and Dante can't go anywhere. The Justice are not waiting this opportunity. They're not going to waste it in the slightest. Sound barrier to lead them in. That's a good pulse, though, from Happy. Not enough to turn it or get the pick, with Piggy falling, though. Oh my goodness, this looks like the Washington Justice are really just slowly securing it, squeezing the life out of them. Hack here up onto the high ground, potentially. Decay just trying to hunt down the targets that he's looking for. He has forced out that recall. Happy on 20 health, has to just back away. He's so low from this one, and the Justice, they're so healthy. The Coalescence is online. It's just beaming everybody down. They're getting soaked all over the objective, pushed away from it. With the overtime going now, the Justice, they want to bring this to a third and final round. And they're seconds away from it being a reality.
And there it goes again, as the EMP comes out for Assassin. It's another little victory hurrah, as the Eastern broadcast were calling it. We are headed to round 3, and it couldn't go any other way. This is the Houston Outlaws map pick, but they're making, or the Justice rather, are making them work for it. It is round 3 here, but this map in particular is the one I always think of when I think of ball compositions. How do the Justice get value on such a big, open stage with a Lucio and a Winston?
It should favor the Outlaws here. This is why they picked Busan. It's why they wanted to take it, because this particular section right here is so wide, it's so open. It's hard for Justice to move around as the, the 6-man group and play off of each other with the cooldowns. It's so big, it's so easy for the Outlaws to out-rotate them. But the battle begins already. They're clashing, teleporting right up close and personal. Gonna read the composition for now, but wait it out.
Mag under a lot of pressure here. Got the Discord orb applied onto him. Has to back away. Decay as well. Forced out for just a moment. But they have a lot of space to be able to work with. There's a pile drive. No specific target, though, under pressure from the Justice, as Mag is once again hacked.
It's a hack coming out as well, though, onto Piggy. Fantastic work. They just take him out straight away. The tracking from Decay has been immaculate, but Crimson with the volley right from behind Jake removes him, but not before the damage is done. Houston did flip the point over. Critically, now going to be able to get a bit of percentage.
Oh, wow. Happy went for that. They were trying to keep the objective alive there just for a moment. He used it. I think that was like a triple blink and then a recall. So it's going to be a while before Happy's in a position to fight once more. But ultimates are starting to get up. Dante outpacing Assassin just by a bit. 10%. It's not much when it comes to EMP, but it could be a game changer if the Outlaws are decisive with it. You can see Happy and Dreamer are going to apply constant objective pressure. That's got to be a translocator taken out again by Assassin, surely.
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine. It's happened so many times this series. Assassin just being able to find these translocator spots, remove it for the team, and Dante can't run anywhere. It's a pulse bomb to try and turn it, but Happy doesn't get the connection he was looking for again.
Assassin and Fury are like a little death squad roaming around, making Dante's life hell.
And the pressure might just be getting to Outlaws here. They're going to start to play this point over. They need to try and turn this teamfight around, but the Coalescence comes through. Dante was pushed back as well. He's not in position to EMP cancel this one. Might be coming through, but now the Transcendence. It's a later one. The Outlaws are coming in with ultimates. A little bit behind. Closer sends in the sound barrier. The Justice is still looking to find this, and the EMP, it only connects onto 2, but it is the tanks. Big targets to try and capture, to try and lock down here. Do they have the damage? It doesn't quite look like it. As the backline is gone, Assassin is just absolutely ripping through them.
Absolutely brutalizing the whole of the Outlaws here. And he's been kept immortal this entire time as well. He doesn't have those Brig armor packs to be able to work off, or a Harmony Orb, anything like that. But his team is supporting him so well, and the coordination with Fury is god tier. 85% for the Justice. Outlaws have got to win this next fight without any major ultimates and then keep a snowball going. All eyes on Happy with this pulse bomb. He's got to be the heroes Houston need right now.
He needs a pick right into the back line. Crimzo is taken out. The back line's removed and a pause.
What is
a pause
this?
at such a critical time. What is happening?
You've got to imagine that the Outlaws called this pause. You've also got to imagine that with 2 players down and the point at 96%, this is just time to stew and realize that your season has slipped away from you. I hate to call it before the round is actually finished, Bren, but this is a 6v4 fight in favor of Washington. And the Outlaws, you can see it written all over Jake's face. The motor mouth isn't going anymore. He's just sat staring at his screen, looking at the sad reality that despite being up 2-1 in the series, they may have just let this one slip away.
A lot of pressure on these guys' shoulders here. And yeah, you're right, Josh, in the final moment. I mean, it's Jake and Crimzo down, taken out from the dive, the coordinated play from the Justice there.
And again, the coordination coming off the back of communication from Assassin. Assassin is calling the position for Mag and Fury to dive. This isn't just a blind jump from Mag. It's all set up by the comms from Assassin. And he has been so vocal for the Washington Justice. This entire series, this entire play-ins run, as short as it has been, he has been their key player, in my opinion, to be able to get them to the playoffs. And that's with Decay on the team as well, by the way. Who would have thought you'd be saying that?
I just cannot believe this is happening as well. Oh, my word. Pause coming through here. That is...
Yeah. There's some incredible tension, but at the same time...
The timing between it.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, how on earth do you recover this? A 4v6. I mean, the Washington players are not excited. They realize the job is not done yet. But yeah, I can see it written all over Houston. Jake with his head in his hands, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of wondering where it all went wrong.
We've received words as well.
A killer.
This was an auto pause as well. This wasn't called for by a player. It was an automatic function. I'm not quite sure how it works, but it wasn't called for either team in this final moment here of this play-in match right here. Now, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Houston Outlaws lose 2. It gives them more time to think about how they're going to salvage the situation. Because I'm telling you, if this was playing out, it's probably going to the Washington Justice.
Sure, I guess in that sense, but the psychological damage, I feel, is just unrecoverable here.
It's stewing. It's stewing.
They are left to stew. Yeah, and that's the thing. None of the players called for it, so who knows when this unpause is going to happen? Because if it was an automatic pause, what is the issue that needs to be resolved for this game to begin again? I don't know. Maybe the players don't know. This is soul-crushing right now. Absolutely soul-crushing. I feel for Houston, but at the same time, what a comeback from Washington. And to do it on Houston's own map as well, I really, really felt like Busan was going to favor the Outlaws here. But Mag certainly looks nervous. He doesn't look excited just yet.
I mean, both teams are going to be feeling nervous about this. I mean, yes, the Justice, it's within their grasp for sure, but the pressure that is going to be building off the back of this, it is quite ridiculous. I think as well, the automatic pause, I think, kicks in as well if it detects a player disconnecting as well.
Yeah, there might be other things that trigger it that I'm not aware of, but that is certainly one of them. Oh my.
I mean, what else do you say in this scenario? It's almost
the weirdest pause I've ever been sat in, Bren. This is to send these teams to the playoffs. This is to send the Justice or the Outlaws to the playoffs. And just for a moment while we are paused, what a match. This is 5 maps. 5th map, 3rd round. Final team fight, potentially deciding it all. This feels like a playoffs game. The previous ones, okay, you know, they were pretty good. This is the kind of quality of match you've got to look forward to September 21st. When things start off again. But it looks like we're going live right again, Brent, so I'm going to let you take over.
The unpause happens. Here it is. Mag pops the Primal Rage straight back to the point. The Outlaws, they've got to just come up with something, anything. They got to touch the point. The overtime is burning. This is the entire season on the line for them. They're going to be edging on and off here. The post bomb, it's going to be a bit of a whiff. Still now the overtime going. Is there anyone from the Outlaws who can keep this going? So much pressure. They're all being taken down low. Dodging in and out, weaving between the point, but with Dreamer falling. It's the last play they could really realistically touch. Decay's in the back, the post bomb connects! Again, Crimzo, and if that doesn't seal the deal, I don't know what will. The coalescence ends, and so does the map. The Justice are going to Hawaii. They win it out in map 5 all the way, and you can see how much it means to them, the entire squad, this season overall. It hasn't been what they hoped, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how well you do in the overall playoffs, and they're going there.
Mag went back to his PC to type goodbye in the chat. And Dreamer and Dante, to their credit, are posting "we go home" in the chat as well. They're good-natured about it for sure, but that has got to be an absolute killer for the Outlaws. You can't help but empathize with them and also revel in the excitement of the Washington Justice. Everyone's faces, all 12 players during that pause, they looked like they just wanted it to end. The tension was killing them, breaking them apart. Yeah. And to see that catharsis, all the release of the excitement, the euphoria on the Justice side, it's overwhelming. What a series. And the Houston Outlaws, they extend this playoffs losing streak. 6 matches in a row. They are unfortunately not able to do it at the final hour, and that defines their season.
But a Washington Justice, I mean, they're all out of their seats, of course. They're celebrating, they're moving forwards. It's not going to be them going home today. It's going to be them going to Hawaii, going to the playoffs, participating in it. What a scary team as well. It seems like all the issues that we criticized the Washington Justice for, the lack of proactivity, the initiation that they didn't really show as well over the course of the entire time, and the microscope that was basically just looking at Assassin this entire time of his Sombra play. What a step up performance from everyone stepping up on the Washington Justice to prove that they deserve to go to Hawaii. Let's take a look at our player of the match. And my God, it's got to go to one individual. We've been singing the praises all day long. This entire series, it's Assassin. The redemption, the vindication they must be feeling off the back of this one. It's unimaginable almost.
It's not usual that a player seems more loose during the high pressure environment, but he really does. Assassin had an incredibly poor Countdown Cup performance and has come into the play-ins, the matches that really matter, the biggest matches of his young career, and he's playing the best that he's played all season. This match from Assassin was top tier, and he was great, playing a great Sombra earlier on in the year, but this one right here, oh my word, 16 elims per 10, 25 enemies hacked per 10, and he was only dying less than 3 times per 10 minutes. Those are ridiculous statistics, and the combination of him working with Fury and setting up dives for Mac, this kind of stuff, was godlike from Washington today. This is the team we wanted to see all year long.
Yep. Better late than never. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
Better late than never. I mean, we have had moments where I have just been absolutely pulling my hair out watching this squad, but not today. They gave us a series worthy of the play-ins. This final round as well. I mean, what a match. And now preparation begins as they look forwards to those playoffs games. I mean, an astounding match as well. We're going to be going to a short break. We have an interview with Mag coming up as well, and even further into the future as well. You don't want to miss it. And the Watchpoint crew, eventually as well at some point today, are going to be breaking down as well, getting the first picks to see which teams are going to be playing who in the playoffs in Hawaii. Spicy. That's going to be spicy. You don't want to miss it. Yeah, but that's going to do it for the matches for today. And thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. But again, don't go anywhere. Interview coming up with Mag. And again, you're probably not going to want to miss that one either. So we'll see you in just a few.
얘네 힐러 없어. 봐줄게.
나이스. 소환. 살려줘.
나 티켓 끊어놨다.